In hindsight, what's the cringiest thing you've ever done? When I was much younger, I would hump the fireman pole on the playground during recess. I didn't know what I was doing, but it felt good. However, I was often the last person off the playground doing this, and so many times everyone would wait and watch, because nobody could go in until I was done and join the class. Edit. Kinda glad I'm not the only one that did this. Had a presentation in college. I dressed fairly nice for it and had a white handkerchief in my back pocket. Got a little sweaty, so I pulled the handkerchief out of my back pocket. It was a pair of white underwear. Again in college. My class won a trip to a PR event, so my teacher got tacos for the entire class. It was a lecture hall, so the room had steps that went all the way down to the whiteboard. Taco Boy showed up. He's walking down the steps, while I realized my backpack was in his way. In the process of pulling it out of the way, I hooked Taco Boy's foot, tripping him, sending tacos all over the classroom. Freshman, early sophomore year of high school, I chased after this girl and complained all the time that she was friend-zoning me. I probably posted 30 statuses on Facebook in that time about how nice guys never get the girl and the friend zone sucked. I am beyond embarrassed to admit this next part, but I actually made a Facebook page called Friend Zone Club where I posted dank friend zone memes. I completely forgot about it for a long time until a few weeks ago. I was on my profile and noticed I was still the admin of that page. So I deleted it and cringed at myself harder than ever before. In job interview, I shook the employer's hand and said, "Hi, how are you?" exercising my assertive social skills, which would have been fine except that I said it at the end of the fucking interview. In high school, I made a, not even remotely funny, joke to my mate about how his dad, probably him in the everyday. He didn't say anything and just walked off, while everyone stared daggers at me. I'm all what guys. His dad had died 2 days prior. Oh God, make the cringe stop. These memories were buried for a reason. Bonus cringe. I went to visit my mom when I was like 19. She gave me a girl's phone number and set me up on a blind date. You could stop reading this here, because that's bad enough. Since I was such a cool guy, I texted my friend something like, "I'm in this whole town about to go on a date with some random," and of course I sent it directly to the girl. So when I met her, I had to lead with, "Yeah, sorry, just ignore that text." "Okay, hi, nice to meet you." There was no second date. Oh, and hell no, I did not get the job. First year university, ended up living in a hotel off campus. The university guaranteed residence spaces to first-year students, but they had construction delays on the new residence buildings, and so had to rent 3 floors from a local hotel for the entire year. Now, this was actually a really nice hotel, 4 stars, middle of downtown Toronto, and had its own bar/club. As lazy students, we didn't want to go far, especially in the winter, so we would hang out in the hotel bar most nights. So, one night, I muster up some courage and decide to talk to an older woman at the bar, 30-ish, which is old when you are 19. We talked for a while. I engage in a poor attempt in flirting. Finally, I ask for her number. She smiles at me, says, "You're very sweet," and writes out her number on a cocktail napkin. I get up to leave and go back to my friends. I look at the napkin, realize she had given me an obviously fake number to get rid of this kid, and toss it in the trash. Later, my friends ask me if I managed to get her number. I tell them no. She gave me a fake one. It only had 4 numbers in it, so I threw it away. I then have to be explicitly reminded that while phone numbers aren't 4 digits long, hotel room numbers are. When I was younger, around 5-6 I think, my family and I went to visit a friend. He had a daughter and a son, and I was quite close friends with the girl. We went up to play in her bedroom, and for some reason, and I can't for the life of me remember why I thought it would be a good idea, decided to whip out my 1-inch wonder and proceed to wipe it on the walls of her bedroom whilst laughing. She excused herself whilst I was doing so, and about a minute later, I hear my parents shouting from downstairs. That was the most awkward car ride home ever, and I still cringe every time I think of it. I didn't do this, but my cousin did. When we were like 11-ish, we were at a big public event that we really did not want to attend. I had kind of a mean uncle who was a Vietnam vet and just didn't take well to kids. My cousin overheard one of the adults say that uncle had accidentally shot some of our troops and killed some of them. Friendly fire and awful reality of war. Well, my cousin, after getting into it with my uncle, decided to run around screaming you couldn't even kill any bad guys. All you did was kill your teammates. That's how bad you are at shooting. He can only kill Americans. I think he believed that he was making fun of my uncle's accuracy, when I think back, to how badly hearing that screamed must have been, at a very public event no less. Dozens of people looking at him with confusion, disgust possibly. I don't even know. Just having been there makes me shudder. TLDR, my cousin publicly shamed my Vietnam vet uncle for friendly fire killings. Oh snap, I'm good at those. I started waitressing in around 2 weeks and a local celebrity and his hot son came in for dinner. They finished their meals, but there was some food left over. Cue me. Would you like me in a doggy bag? Instead of would you like me to put it in a doggy bag? The dad laughed his off, the son went redder than a tomato. Next incident happened a month or so ago. We're on our way to my brother's 7-year-old's birthday party. These parties are fun cause the kids get the jumping castle. The adults get the snacks and champagne. So we're topping up at the liquor store on the way there, and the cashier, who we know quite well, asks us what the occasion is. I reply, "Oh, we just need some fornication for a kid's party fortification." Fortification exclamation. I was 22 and had just gotten out of a long-term relationship. I had never dated outside of school, so didn't really know how things worked, or even how to meet people my age. Managed to connect with one girl online, went on a few dates and everything was going surprisingly well, but we had not yet been physical. I must have been subconsciously following the no sex before the third date rule. By the time date 3 rolled around, I had learned of her laptop troubles, so being a gentleman and socially inept computer technician, I suggested I pick her up and head over to my place so I could, take a better look at her hardware. Only, I meant this quite literally. This poor girl sat on my damn bed, barely clothed, for over 3 hours while I tinkered with her laptop. Once I was done, I gave her back the laptop, proud as can be, and drove her home. She never answered my calls again. At the time, all I could think was this selfish girl used me for my amazing knowledge on fixing computers. It wasn't until a few more dates had failed that I had finally learned the social do's and don'ts of dating when it hit me. I was in a cringe coma for weeks. On a week-long field trip, staying in a pretty nice hotel in a picturesque part of the country. First 2 nights went without a hitch. Third night, I woke up really needing it, but everybody was fast asleep, and I didn't want to wake them. Lying there trying to sleep off my stomach troubles just wasn't cutting it, so I got up and crept to the ensuite bathroom. Didn't turn the light on as to not disturb my 4 roommates. Sat down, seat felt funny, much. TP was on the other side than I remember. All well, new surroundings, etc. I didn't flush as to not wake anybody and went back to bed without waking a soul. Sorted. Cue some horrified shouting from one of my peers in the morning that someone has taken in the bath. The events of the night before suddenly became clear of the sinking dread. I had in fact perched on the corner of the bath and done it last night. Instead of owning up, I took it upon myself to clean it up, all the while saying how it must have been a dog or wild animal that got in and did it whilst we were out in the evening. Not suspicious at all, considering the animal had taken the time to wipe its and leave the paper in there too. Our teacher came in to see what the fuss was about, and she went and complained to the owner that her dog had in the bath. Not for 1 second do I believe that the teacher thought a dog had come in, but was probably saving me the embarrassment of in the bath. I'm gonna go drink something strong and try to erase this memory.